Bismillah. Hello, welcome. This class we shall see the first preliminary visual C++ program to find the sum of two numbers. This is the output of the program which we will develop in this video. For instance, if I give number 1 25 and another number equal to 12, and if I calculate, I get the sum of the two numbers 25 and 12 equal to 37. Okay, so this we shall develop. So go to Visual Studio and select Visual C++, and this is the screen we get. This is the first screen we get, opening screen, and right. Now select file, select new, and out of so many things select MFC application wizard exe version. MFC stands for Microsoft Foundation Classes. So MFC application wizard exe, select that and give the application name. I call this one equal to sum, and this is the directory in which I will store my file. Select OK. There are three types of files which can be created in Wizard. One is single document application, which is called as SDI, which will have only one document in a container. Multiple document means one container will have multiple documents, like see document 1, document 2. And another one is dialog based application. This is something like a form which will have menus and which will have OK, cancel button, something like that. So we will select the dialog based application, select next, and keep these things as default, then select next, then select next, and these are the classes which are generated. Application wizard creates the following classes. One is the application class and other one is the dialog class. For every class there are header files associated, and what is the base class and what is the implementation file. Likewise for the dialog class, this is the header file, this is the base class, and this is the source file. I say finish and OK. Now this is what you get, the opening screen, and here you can see that this one, it has generated some dialogues, and these are called as the icons and string table, which we call it as resources. Okay, so this is the dialog which will be created, and now select this one and delete it. Switch on the grid so that the controls can be placed in the proper position. Select a static text and call this one is equal to say number 1. And in order to get a number, we require a text box. We call it as edit text. So this is for getting the edit box. This is for getting number 1. And copy it, hold down the control key and drag. I will get one more set. This is for getting number 2. Again hold control key and drag. This is for getting the result. So this I change the label as number 2, and this one I call it as a result or sum. Okay. Now these three edit boxes, holding the control key, select multiple controls, right click, select properties, and in the styles they are going to accept numbers, therefore select the numbers. And this one is left justified by default. Since we are entering numbers, let it as right justified. See that the word edit has come to the right, and this is a calculated field, therefore that alone go to the properties and make it as read only, so that it is disabled. We cannot make any correction. Then select a command button and give the caption as go to the properties and call this, instead of button 1, we call it as say calculate or find a sum, whatever it is. Okay, so this is my design, and now I can make the dialog a little bit smaller also, because unwanted so much space is there. And these two controls I will place it little bit here, and I will make the dialog box a little bit smaller. Now right now the form, the dialog box is selected, therefore right click and properties. So this is for the properties of the dialog. Instead of sum which appears on the caption, you give this one is equal to say sum of two numbers. Okay, so far we have spent time only in designing. Alright, now these three controls has to be given some variable. Therefore go to the class wizard, otherwise select Ctrl W, and in the member variables for the edit box 1, that is for this edit box, you call this one is equal to n1, and the data type we are going to give as integer. Likewise for this one, for the second edit box, double click it and call it as n2 of type integer. Okay, then likewise for the one more edit box, you call it as n3, that is for this one edit box 3, you call it as n3, and this is also of type integer. For this I did not press enter, therefore n2 is of type integer. Okay. Now remember, this is edit 1, edit 2, edit 3 are the control names. n1, n2, n3 are the memory variables which are associated to the control. Okay. Now we say okay. Now we want to associate an event. In Visual C++, an event is called as a message. Therefore double click this. Now you see that the event, the message is button clicked. On which control? On control button 1. Therefore select OK. Therefore here in the button 1, now the first statement is update data true. Even if I do not specify, it is by default it is true. Then my n3 is equal to n1 plus n2. And then from n3 we send the data back, therefore update data false. Okay, that's all. These are the 3 lines of coding. Save this and build it. This is F7, build it, and here you can see that there are no errors, fortunately 0 errors, 0 warning. Then execute it, Ctrl F5, run it. The dialog box appears. Now if I give the first number and the second number, and if I say calculate, the sum is equal to 37. I change the number 123, 345, and I calculate the sum is equal to 468. So this is how we write a program for the addition of the two numbers. Now let us go back into our coding. What this update data true does, these are the controls. This control is associated with n1, this control is associated with n2, this control is associated with n3. When I say update data true, whatever is in the control, that will go to the variable n1. This 345 content will go to n2, and likewise whatever is there initially it will be blank 0, that will go to n3. So update data transfers the data from the control to the variable. Now n3 is calculated from the memory variable. This is, say for example 12, and this one is equal to 12, 12 plus 12 equal to 24, and now n3 is equal to 24. Now that n3, whatever is in memory, that has to be reflected on the control. From the memory it has to come to the control. Therefore this is done by update data false. Update data true takes from control to memory. Update data false takes from memory to control. So these things, transferring the data from the control to the memory and from the memory to the control, is called as this one a DDX, dialog data exchange. Okay, so now when we say calculate, we get the answer. Since we made this as read only, I cannot make any alteration. Okay, if you have any clarification, please contact me either at this contact number or mail me. Thank you so much.